Hello City Builders. So last video I decided / announced that I wanted to start my videos going forward with a naming convention. So at the very beginning of the video I just want to show appreciation for users who are subscribed to the channel. The names are going to be random. I'm just going to keep doing this until I get caught up. So everyone will be appreciated and recognized in one way or another. And I'm trying to be really intentional about this, and so that I'm not just naming schools after people. And I may end up getting to that point, but at this juncture, I don't have to do that. What we're looking at here is the very first sector of the town. At least it was the town when I started it. This was the first basic battery grid structure that I set up. And so when I finally developed this neighborhood and started putting in some assets, I very deliberately did not put in the tallest assets possible because I wanted this to be kind of like the old town. And so the taller stuff is over here on this side on the peninsula. We do have some assets in here, though, that would be worthy of being named. And that would be the high interest tower. And then we have these two residential assets that I think are from Dubai, but I could be mistaken. And then we have the vanilla observation tower, which I think is pretty cool asset, if you ask me. And it looks like it's got gosh darn it, a rotating restaurant on the top. Good grief, rotating restaurant on the top. So that's a cool place to be hanging out. And then what else? This slightly shorter residential tower that I just plopped very recently because I'm trying to get these RICO bars to balance. I want to be careful of my citizen instances, but we're not close yet. So those are the assets that I want to try to name. And one person who's been giving me a lot of feedback lately, who's pretty good, pretty cool creator themselves. That doesn't sound like the greatest praise. Good and cool are such banal words. He's working on a vanilla series, which is pretty interesting and really well done in how he's showing the versatility of the vanilla component of this game. His username is Xucaboa, and so I believe, based on listening to his commentary, that he either lives in Madrid or in Portugal, or he was there at some point. And so this structure just looks a little bit more modern and sleek and European to me. And so we're going to name this the Xucaboa. Oh, good grief, if I can get stuff to highlight. Xucaboa, and I hope there's enough characters here. Xucaboa Interests Ltd. So maybe this is some kind of high finance investment company. Xucaboa interests right here in the center Old Town. And then there's two other usernames. One is the name of Dan Finholt, and then the other, I hope I pronounce this correctly, is Tony Fattore. And I thought, well, these buildings are paired, and both those last names start with F. So I'm going to call this the Finholt. Wait, we're just going to, yeah, the Finholt Tower. Oops. There we go. The Finholt Tower. And then we're going to call this one the Fattore Tower. So, thank you, Dan Finholt. Thank you, Tony Fattore. And thank you, Xucaboa, for subscribing to the channel. And then, let's see, this building being relatively newer, but also, I'm just going to do a little bit of a... (22) Willow Harvey, WH Avenue. All right, there we go. All right, so one of the other users goes by Diplomat022, and so we're going to give this a slightly proper, fancy sounding name and call it Le Diplomat at 22 Willow Harvey Avenue. I named it WH because I don't think there are enough characters for me to spell that out. And then lastly, I thought this was a cool approach. There's another user by the name of TreadingDusk. And I thought, now I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit this in here, but observation towers hanging out at night, you're actually kind of treading the dusk to enjoy those views. Hey, and it let me do it. So I'm going to call this the TreadingDusk Observation Tower. So thank you to those 5 users. I really appreciate that you're following the channel. And you are now honored in naming of buildings in the old part of the city. So one of the conundrums I encountered as I was doing some research for this build was the recognition that most cruise port harbors are actually not very well built up. They're pretty sparse operations. You might have a terminal center that is processing passengers. In this port here in Italy, we see original architecture built up, but that's not really meant to service the cruise ship. Similarly here, I think this is Genoa. We just have a blank pier for the cruise ships to dock, and then people will transit from the ships to their destinations on shore. Canaveral, here's another example. It looks like there's a little bit more landscaping involved here, but we have just a simple terminal for receiving or processing passengers and quite a bit of parking. Vancouver is built up a little bit better. It looks like it's fairly well aesthetically designed, but again, this is not a hospitality receiving area. It's an area for processing passengers. So my goal in this build is to do something totally imagined. I need to balance my RICO, so I'm going to be bringing in a whole lot of residential assets and also building some plazas for tourists to recuperate. Basically, when I look at this space, there's a couple things that I'm thinking about. Obviously, I don't want to leave it undeveloped. I'm a little bit concerned about putting in residential because of the noise generated by the space elevator, but the flip side is the residential buildings that are available in the workshop and even in the game, specifically the green self-sustaining buildings, those sky rises back there on the waterfront, I think are the best for this area. I don't need more office buildings. I don't need more commercial. I do need some commercial, but I need mostly residential. So I've been looking at residential buildings and I've found several that I think will work. And my goal is to try to consolidate some of these green spaces and place buildings around the periphery or the perimeter of these spaces so that I can have some working plazas on the inside. What I have to do right now is try to reorganize this space in order to maximize the plaza areas with minimal impact to the travel that these Sims have to do coming off of the space elevator and the 2 ship terminals. So that's part of my goal. So let's do this. I think the first thing that immediately comes to mind here is, I have all these park gates placed around, which, it's okay. I don't know how much I'm really gaining by having this park gate here for Sims to walk through. Right here, for example, how many Sims are actually transiting through that gate right there? I really don't know. So I want to try to simplify some of these park paths, though, because this now becomes wasted space with this bridge here. So I think what I want to try to do is bring this bridge over here and maybe have it hook up with the end of the road here. And I don't even know if I really need a park gate for that bridge to set down right here. So that's one piece that I need to work on. I think I'm going to try to slide this over closer to the Opera House. And, I love the biodomes are really beautiful and cool, and maybe it's right here, but it just doesn't feel completely right here. So I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to reconfigure. I got to be careful with this. I don't know that I want to reconfigure this gate here. Wow. And so, see, I don't think it'll cause much of an impact if these Sims have to walk this way. So we'll see what happens with this gate here. But like all of this, I think could probably disappear. Okay, so the goal here now will be putting in buildings on the periphery so that somehow I can create some plazas on the interior. Don't have much space here, but I have some buildings that I think are interesting. So let's go into ploppable RICO. These are just not the right scale. They look, the ratios are off. And I think I decided no on this one. And I decided maybe on this. Because it has this cool little... Now, the other thing I need to do is get rid of these plazas. Okay. That really doesn't do much to my entertainment. Okay. I have this, if the listener can hear ruckus right now, it's because I have this Boston Terrier that, see, wouldn't it be cool if I could get that building to sit perfectly on the corner? Got a little bit of a gap there. Is that the right? I think it's okay. Now, how many? 70 households. Good. Good. This will be helpful. Because what I could do is I don't want it. If I get it close enough and it creates a connection, and then we're going to drag this up just a little bit so that it's straight in line with that path. Don't know if I should add. I think I'll mess up. Yeah. Okay, so now a possibility could be, how badly will I foul up all of this? Oh, wow. Okay, where is that sim going? Gosh darn it. First sim I've seen. Oh, now we have a few. Why is it not letting me tag them? Where are we going? Oh, they're going to the terminal. And where are they going? Okay. I may have to redraw that. What I'm thinking is I'm going to eliminate this completely. And then I'm also going to eliminate this and redraw it, because Sims were having a hard time. Whoop. So if we drop this right down here, no, come on. Why are we going underground? Okay, so let's move these for oh wait, you know what? Let's also line these up. And then let's move those out of the way for just a sec. And then we're going to drop this down. It better not. Okay. Put it halfway in between those tiles. Now, if we come back, Control Z. Barely touches. That's enough. So let's see what happens. Our sim's gonna connect here or here. They're using the pedestrian paths. Ugh. There we go, there we go, there we go. And I think I just saw someone walk onto that promenade also now. Yes, and they're crossing off the promenade here too. We still have a gate here. I think we're okay. What I'm looking at is whether or not there are ways for Sims to enter the park system without going through a gate, and I don't think there are. So, perfect. I love it. This is good. Okay, let's come back here then. How did I get... Oh, because I'm plopping that building. That's how. Okay, so we have... Now that was... Okay, now let's keep looking, because there are some other buildings that I really liked. No on the apartments. No on Kilbourne. I already have. Elsewhere. We are coming... Le Mill. Yes. This one is a must, because... Okay, now, I mean, maybe I'm cheating here, but 402 households. Now what? I'm not seeing them here now. Okay, so we're gonna put this right here, and then we'll have a little plaza right in there. I might end up using vanilla plazas. We'll see. The way this is going. What? Come on. Oh, that was anchoring on that road. There we go. I think that's perfect. It'll take a while for that to fill in. Now, what we're also going to do, though, real quick, is slide this down, slide this up, and we're going to add pedestrian road. Let's get our guidelines on. Okay, now, because we're going to anchor some stuff on that pedestrian road. Now, Control Z, Control Z. We're going to put a plaza in here. We're going to do some landscaping with trees. Now, do I have that? I think I need to slide this over just a little bit. Yeah. Okay, now let's fix... Oh, and that's... Good grief, I keep forgetting. Turn off cars. Okay, so that'll be a nice... See, and that's a nice, I think... Yeah, this will be a plaza space. And I'll do more land. I'll have to put in some trees and stuff in these empty areas. And we're just going to pretend that Sims are walking through. I don't know if I can put a path through there and lower it. I could probably get a path through here and lower the height so that it looks like, hey, so it's not even visible. Perfect. I can do the same thing. So this way, dang it. Okay, can I reach the node on that one? Yes. So, no one will even see those paths, but we might see some Sims. Yes, we see Sims walk through. Perfect. And then we got these random light poles. Dang it. Do dirt paths have... Okay, so we're going to do it with dirt paths, I think. I don't believe dirt paths have those random light poles. It'll still work. Perfect. Perfect. No one will see them. Because they'll be covered up. Oh, yes, I love it. Okay, so let's go back to our cafes. Like that. And then, oh, you know what else I could do? Ooh. If I fuss with those paths and make them curved, it will look like people are walking in random directions. Okay, so we have this here. So we need one more. Let's take this guy, copy him, and drop him right there. I like it. I like it. And we're going to put some tables in the middle. Put some trees and planters in the middle. Let's see. I don't want to be cheesy, but let's just go over to the park thing. Will these be the right? Yes. It'll be hard to fit them in. Okay, so these, the only thing is we're not entirely symmetrical. That works. And this will work. Now, I am going to do this. If I can get my hands on these paths. Wait, is that... Did I never finish that loop? No, I did. I just can't grab it. There it is. So this will make it look like Sims are walking. Perfect. Yes. Now we can also put poplar. Come on. Right along here. Anywhere else? A unified theme. Alright, let's see. Can poplar go right there? Why do I have a car parked? Okay, that's interesting. So, so here's the funny thing. The sim says, I'm going to get in my car so I can drive in this building. That's humorous. I may have to call it quits now because this is a lot of work that's been done. So maybe what I do is another episode on the other 2/3, or I do it off video. But this is freaking cool. Hello city builders, welcome back. I decided to go ahead and keep a time lapse of the rest of that build in the video in case some viewers might find that interesting. But I want to go ahead and wrap with a quick tour of what we did the rest of that build. So you may recall we put in these residentials prior to the time lapse and built in that little plaza there. And then I'll put the links to these particular assets in the workshop. It's a nice little matched set of towers, which gives you some variation in your skylines, and added another built in another custom plaza right here with more of those cafes by Mr. Miyagi, and then some tree planters, and then again built some paths through those tiles for Sims to transit. And then finally over on this end, some more residential towers and a nice cool long plaza here across the street facing the cruise ship harbor, but also serving these 3 residential towers right here. So pretty happy with how all of these turned out. The general appearance of all this I think is pretty good. You can see probably I've added landscaping throughout the rest of the breakwater as well, mostly some vanilla trees and then some more of those poplars. And that's about it for this build. Looking ahead, I've been debating on which end of the breakwater I need to put in an amusement park, and I think I have a little bit more land to work with over here, although it might make more sense to put the amusement park over here across from the residential area. I haven't 100% decided. The other end, whichever doesn't have the amusement park, I think I'm going to build in some parks with some casinos. So that's one of the things that's coming up. And then lastly, this space is still awaiting the inclusion of a marina, so I need to work on that. One of the things that I've been preoccupied with is how to make the water accessible when there's no steps down on this key, and the recent creator pack is going to, I think, contain some assets that I think are going to be helpful in that respect, because there are some keys with steps down to the water's edge as it is. So I also need to put in that marina area as well. So I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. I want to thank everyone for watching. We're going to conclude with checking out what the skyline looks like through the day-night cycle in a time lapse. Enjoy. This is Hubbub signing off.